Well, I've seen some stuff lately and I thought, well, I won't say anything. And now I thought, do you know what? Fuck it. So, white guilt. This is something they're trying to push around the world at the moment. They're trying to make kids feel bad about being white and their history. They're trying to rewrite history to put people, say, for instance, of colour as the inventors, the creators, the scientists. Bollocks. When you look through, say, for instance, the documentaries, the dramas, the Netflixes of this world, right? And that's another one. Netflix has got something going out that when the world goes all to shit, we must not trust anybody, especially the white person. So this is a thing that's being pushed to persecute our whitey and make whitey feel bad and also get people going after whitey. Now, obviously the slavery thing's a big one and they want to try and ask for reparations, but don't worry, I've got an answer to that as well. But do I feel guilty about being white? No, I fucking don't. I love being white. And I'm proud of being white. And I'm proud of my country. And I'm proud of everything it's done. Now, I'm not proud of the governments. No. But let's go on. Slavery. Who was the last to join and one of the first to leave? Well, that'll be us. Who was the one that gave over 46% of their GDP 1 year, okay, to buy the slaves' freedom? Oh, that'll be us. And who's only just paid that bill back? So in my generation, I've actually paid into the abolition of slavery, right? So do I feel bad? Do I fuck? Now, who do we buy the slaves off? Oh, that's a question that never gets answered. Black slave owners. There you go. So who's also doing slavery now? Oh, well, that's not white people, is it? But there's still slavery going on around the world. Let's talk about the Barbary slave trade. I'll tell you what, Vinnie Sullivan, he would be a good person to go and look about that. He knows about a lot more of this than I do. Okay, and I remember some reporter jabbed a camera in his face, and it's the last thing that they actually wish they'd ever done because that went viral, and he handed it to him on a plate. So look him up. Now, since you want money about reparations for slavery, I want money in reparations for giving you all the things that you have now. So when you go to places like Africa and India, before we got there, well, they were pretty well medieval, right? And we decided that this wasn't fair. So what we decided to do was make our lives over there better and their lives too. So we gave them education. We gave them industry. We gave them agriculture, what we knew about it. Sewage treatments, okay? Better water. Well, let's just talk about it. Better everything. We made their lives infinitely better by going there. Same as Africa. Now, if you look at the places in Africa that we pulled out of now, have they got better or have they got worse? Well, they got much worse. In fact, many places that we've pulled out of have actually got worse. So if I was to say to you, you feel bad about slavery, and I feel bad about the fact that you've done well out of all the things that we've given you, but you don't thank us for it. So why don't we just invoice you for that? Oh, you won't like that much, will you? Now, at the moment, I see all sorts of stupid videos on YouTube of, say, for instance, one white kid being led down the road in Ireland in chains while black people hold the chains, and then them saying how the roles have changed. And you feel happy about that, do you? Let me tell you this. If you're so fucking good and your culture's so fucking great, then why do you choose to come here? And if you say we don't have a culture, maybe it's because you don't realise that our culture seeped into yours over there, and many of the things that we do, you do, because of us, which makes your life better, which is why the subtleties and nuances of our culture you don't get. Now, what you don't complain about is, say, for instance, the fact that we're dumb fuck enough to put you at the top of a housing list, the benefits list, or any other list, because liberal morons seem to feel guilty about something about their past. I don't, by the way. Now, if slavery was also so bad, why is it when slavery stopped you didn't decide to fuck off out of this country and go back to your ancestral home because it was so much better, right? Well, clearly it wasn't. Or clearly you've settled in. Or clearly you realised that law and order made you safer over here than it did in your own country. Or I could pick 1,000 reasons that you decided to stay, but you decided to stay because it was better. And we have still modern day slavery going on all around the world, but nobody wants to pick a hole in that. Why? Because at the moment it is have a pop at Whitey. Well, Whitey has had a bit of a gutful. And all over Europe, and say for instance, America, and Australia, New Zealand, and places like this, Whitey is going to get to the point where he's had such a gutsful that he's going to start fighting back. And that's not far off. And you want to remember this. Whitey, little old England here, managed to colonise half the fucking world. A tiny little country like us managed to do that. You might want to think about why and how we did that. You don't want to piss off old Whitey. Whitey's been nice for a long time. Whitey's put up with a lot of shit, but Whitey's right at the end of his fuse at the moment. Now, I truly believe that there is a force behind the scenes that is stirring up a culture war, a race war, call it what you like. And the reasons it's doing it is too long to explain on here, but it is a thing. And it is quite easy to manipulate small-minded, brain-dead fucktards into believing they're hard done by. If I dropped you back in Africa right fucking now, or back in India, or wherever it is you came from, you would be hard done by. But actually, you're doing pretty fucking well over here. Now, if you find that this culture over here is maybe a bit stabby, where did that come from? If you find that you're getting mugged by your own kind over here, or gang culture's a problem, whose fault is that? It's fucking yours. So, don't blame all of your fuck-ups and failures on Whitey. It's on your shoulders. Your inability to face facts, grow up, man up, take responsibility. Something that you haven't done for a long time, innit? Now, there are many people from those cultures that I've just mentioned that came here and assimilated. They got on just fine. They came here early doors. They liked our country. They followed our law. They worked hard. They made a life for themselves. They celebrated our kings or queens, whichever it was at the time. They waved our flag. They were a very valid member of our community, and we enjoyed them. But these same people have had kids since and explained to the kids what they'd come from and why they fled those places for a better life. And those kids now are looking at what's coming, i.e. the people that their fathers, mothers fled from. And these people are also saying, do you know what, fuck this, I'm off. I'm not hanging about. And yet that is what these dumb fuck politicians are trying to convince us is Islamophobia or racism, that these people don't feel safe in their country from old Whitey, that they're leaving the country. But the actual truth be told is they don't feel safe from their own kind or the people that I've just mentioned, because the people that are coming over now are the lowest of the low from the third world. And as you've seen, murder, rape, criminality and all sorts of other things are going up, and they do not want to have any part to play in that. That's why they're fucking off, contrary to what the media might tell you. But anyway, let me just say this for the camera: I have no white guilt, and I will encourage every other person like myself to have none either. You have nothing, repeat, nothing to be ashamed of. The thing that one of the things they're trying to make you be ashamed of, take for instance slavery, everybody else at that time was doing it. Black, Indian, Asian, pick your fucking colour, pick your culture, they were all doing it. So why single you out? And as I say, if you were last to the party and first to leave and paid the most to make sure that people weren't slaves anymore, why feel guilty? I don't. And if you've given so much around the world so that people's lives have been made infinitely better, so people's lives have lived longer because of the medicine you gave them, as I say, the industry, the culture, pick what you want, then why should you feel guilty? Have a think about that. If you like what I'm doing on here, please share this, all right? Please share my channel. Also, there are links in the description to stuff that I'm doing at the moment. Or there will be when I manage to upload them, because I'm actually currently working. Look at the video before, that's doing rather well. That will have all the links in it, by the way. I'm on Telegram if you want to get to me. I'm on Discord if you want to speak to me. And yeah, we should have some really interesting stuff coming up. So bear with, and I'll speak to you in a bit.